Hi guys, welcome back. It's been a while, and this video is my Christmas unboxing of my Daniel Smith watercolor paints and a palette setup. Again. I know, it's a lot of palette setups recently, and I promise my channel is not all about all the art supplies I buy and just buying art supplies. I'll definitely be using them. It's just that when it was like the Christmas season, I wanted to buy some for myself, and my siblings and family members wanted to buy me gifts as well. So I just told them all the Daniel Smith paints I wanted to try, and I'm so grateful that they were able to afford to buy me so many. You will notice that even though this is my what I got for Christmas haul, this is being posted in early February because I wanted to do it right this time. Every pan is poured 3 times, and between every paint pour, I let it dry for at least a week, because the first time I made a palette, which was my least favorite colors palette, the paint shriveled up so much into almost half the size, and I didn't want that to happen. In these pans, I wanted them to look really pretty, so I took my time, and that's why it's more than a month later. Naples yellow is an interesting mix. It's mostly used for skin tones, and I actually prefer making my own skin tone mixtures, so I think I'll be giving this pan to someone else who's more interested, and this and the rest of the tube, and sell it on eBay. Hansa yellow medium, classic yellow. New Gamboge, a classic warmer yellow. Perylene red, another standard red. The quinacridone coral is a nice, beautiful pink color. It's a little bit lighter in mass tone compared to everything else. It's not as saturated, but I'm excited to see how it mixes with other colors. Rhodonite Genuine is in the same boat. It's not quite as saturated. It's in the same hue as the quinacridone rose and pink, but it granulates, so that's exciting. Potter's Pink granulates like crazy and supposedly does not have a high tinting strength, so I'm probably going to be having to use a lot of it if I want any little bit of Potter's Pink in that mixture. Perylene Red is a nice deep red, and I think it's a little bit on the warm side. Yeah, not much to say about that. This French Ultramarine, again, a classic mixing color. Cerulean Blue Chromium, a lot of people love this color and its non-chromium version, but for some reason every time I look at this color, it makes me shudder. It's just a weird color. I don't know if it's just my paint. I've compared it with ones from online and I think they look the same, but I'm not sure. It just doesn't look quite right, so I might take that out of my palette. This Lunar Earth is a mixture of a blue and it's a mixture of a blue and a black, and it's basically a granulating blue-black, and it's interesting, but I don't know if I would ever mix with it. I love mixing colors, I just don't use things out of the pan. I just think it looks a little boring on its own. The Cobalt Teal and Cobalt Turquoise are 2 cobalts I can't live without. They're always in my palettes all the time. I think they're such interesting colors. Cascade Green is a lovely green. I think it's more evergreen green compared to the other greens on my list. Undersea Green is that kind of, well, like the name suggests, like an underwater, like seaweed green. And then Perylene Green is actually a black pigment, but it does have that green undertone. Quinacridone Burnt Orange, I love mixing that with my blues just to get different types of greens, and it's so earthy and so close to that pigment Quinacridone Gold, which is no longer being made by Daniel Smith. Lunar Earth is quite interesting. I like how it granulates a lot, and I'm interested to see how this one mixes with others. Hematite Burnt Scarlet is in the same boat. It granulates a lot and it's just a classic brown. So I'm hoping this one will neutralize my French Ultramarine, this one or Lunar Earth. I have Moon Glow, which is a very popular staple in many watercolorists' palette just because of how beautiful and granulating and separating this pigment is. But I've read some articles and watched some YouTube videos about how this color is not light fast, and that honestly depends on your style of painting. If this is meant to be hung up outside or in direct sunlight, you definitely don't want to use this, but I'm a sketchbook artist like 99% of the time. I never make any finished works, so I'm okay with Moon Glow. And Soda Light Genuine is kind of like a classic like gray, just kind of looks like a Payne's gray. Here I am painting Wei Wuxian's better half Lan Zhan, and this is from the novel Mo Dazushi, also known as The Grand Master of Demonic Cultivation. It has a donghua, which is the Chinese version of an anime. It has a live action, I believe you can watch on Netflix. It probably has an audio drama, I just haven't listened to it, but it was originally a light novel. It's a really great story about kind of morals and herd mentality, and this story just really punched me in the gut like every other chapter. So I wanted to memorialize my time, my moment with watching and reading this amazing series into my sketchbook. I already painted Wei Wuxian in the page before, you'll see it a little bit later. I didn't want to base them off of any real person. I wanted them to look kind of like a real person, but not based off of the live action people. I've seen a lot of art that's been based around their kind of faces and features, and I think they look incredible. I just wanted to put my own spin on it because I think Lan Zhan has like a very stern looking face in the novel, and I wanted to give him a little bit more sharper bone structure. I know in the novel they said he has thin lips. I accidentally gave him thicker ones, and I didn't want him to be as pale as Jade. I know that they describe him as being really pale and really just kind of beautiful, but I think if you're outdoors a lot, you will tan eventually, and I didn't think he was going to be very pale. I thought he was going to be a little bit darker. Overall, it was really fun painting him. I kind of messed up the shadows in his face. I had to get a reference for how shadows on the face would like hit, and it's just a little bit messed up. This paper is not meant to layer a lot. It's meant for really kind of normal drier washes, not any puddles of water, otherwise it just kind of bleeds to the other side. But I really enjoy the sketchbook for painting and for practice because I don't like expensive nice paper. It makes me feel bad. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.